So this is Muscogee's safety near a high school. Pretty much kids would have to walk on grass. I have to walk on the side of the road here. It's pretty bad that I have to walk on the road every day if I want to get somewhere, if I want to go running, But this is Muskogee High School. I mean, this is a school that, a place that can invest in a gym, but they can't invest in sidewalks. And it makes me upset every time I think about it, because this is 2022, this isn't 1930. Usually the people that are more aggressive when driving on the roads near pedestrians are usually people in big trucks, such as the Chevy Silverados. Jeep Wranglers are pretty notorious for driving really close to you. It's really bad, that someone has to endure this every day if they want to go from point A to point B, or if they just want to get outside and enjoy the weather. They have to worry about getting ran over. They have to worry about drunk driver or someone on their cell phones. And Muskogee could easily add a sidewalk, and I don't understand what's holding them back or why they don't do it. Many people say Muskogee's really cheap. Another opinion, and it's not a bad opinion either, is that Muskogee just doesn't care about pedestrian safety altogether. But it's quite sad that we have no sidewalks in Muskogee. And this is by a high school. There's also no crosswalks, as you can see. No crosswalks over here. There's no buttons, no nothing. It's really dangerous for children to cross these roads on a day-to-day basis from commuting to and from school, or if they want to go grab a bite to eat at Brahms. They have to fear getting ran over. They have to fear people not giving them the right of way. I had made this suggestion a while back, probably about a year ago, that there's people like that that I've been noticing are the people that really don't care about your safety when it comes to driving and pulling over for pedestrian. But back on topic though, Muskogee just doesn't care, about safety. I had made this suggestion a while back that there should be a federal law that forces any town or any city that has little to no sidewalks near a high school to invest in sidewalks within a 3-year period. And if they don't invest, that they get fined $150,000 every 3 months. I mean, it only sounds fair. It's just like a check engine light. You don't take care of the engine, the light comes on, you continue not taking care of it, it breaks down, and it's a cost of repair. But in this essence, unfortunately, people get hurt. People get hurt having to walk down these streets. I mean, it shouldn't take someone dying on the streets of Muskogee near a high school to wake up to the need for sidewalks. We're close to Dogwood Creek now, and the roads are getting really narrow. The roads are just trashy, and Muskogee altogether is a trashy town that doesn't care. And a lot of people complain to me and say, well, why don't you just not do anything about it? Why don't you just accept it and move on? But if I was to accept it and move on, things would stay the same, and they would never change. You gotta have a voice, whether it's from discrimination to pedestrian safety. I've been grading Muskogee over the last 2 years, and Muskogee's failed miserably in a lot of areas. These lights up here, for example, near the highway right here, they're all out pretty much. They're going out slowly, and I have yet to see the city come out and repair them. There's glass by the errands on the pullover zone on the highway, and that's been there for months. This is a dangerous area to walk on. I've also noticed that it's dangerous for the elderly people who stay at Dogwood Creek. I see a lot of them want to continue to stay active during their stay at the retirement home, and they have to worry even about getting hit. And that's the danger of not having sidewalks, is you have to walk on the road, that you can't have that peace of mind of not getting hit by a car. I shouldn't have to walk on the grass, and I don't want to walk on the grass. It shouldn't be my obligation to move over for a car. If they hit me, I'm suing this town of Muskogee for every dime that they're worth, because it upsets me, and it should upset every parent that has to have their kids go to school that can't even invest in sidewalks. The sidewalk that they have by the gym, for example, is a perfect example of lack of interest in pedestrian safety. It's funny, not really funny, but sarcastically speaking, that Muskogee puts a sidewalk that goes from the call center up there near the Ollies and literally ends right there where it goes into the new gym, or whatever the football field is called. And it's very sad, it's very sad that someone has to fear enjoying the day or enjoying the weather, or even much less having to worry about the need to get to work safely. Not everybody has cars in Muskogee. In fact, Muskogee is a underserved community, for lack of better words. Whenever I see cars coming towards me, I stand my ground, as you should, and it should be a commitment by the laws that are designed and supposed to protect us from people and wrongdoings of our leadership of this town or any other town that is underserved. It's their responsibility as lawmakers to fix these things so people don't get hurt. But Muskogee just doesn't care, I'd be lying if I said Muskogee does care, because they don't. It's very angering too when you have cars that will drive literally a few inches away from where you walk, and they have this whole other lane to drive on to pass you, even though there's no dotted lines. But that's still a Muskogee issue. That's still a red flag for needs of sidewalks. It's crazy that people will pass you when you're driving and want to speed past you, but they want to stay in your lane when you're a pedestrian and come gearing down towards you. Another thing I've noticed a lot is that during the summertime, this grass, especially in this area, is usually overgrown. There's a lot of bugs. People keep saying, well, you should walk in the grass. I know it sucks, but you should walk in the grass. Well, last year I got a really bad infection from walking on the grass. I had to go to the hospital. And luckily it didn't spread, but it was a bad infection because I was walking on the grass and I got lots of bug bites. And after that, I don't walk on the grass anymore. So that's an example of why we definitely need sidewalks, and especially near high school. Why does Muskogee feel that it's all right to just keep driving past the high school and not make it a dire necessity to invest in sidewalks, So now we're headed to the Casey's up here near the country club road, essentially. But this is where it gets really bad. I've noticed there's lots of people that will immediately race out of this pull-in into this dispensary and come racing down towards this road, and the speed limit is 25 on this road, and I've seen people going 45. It's very upsetting. It's very upsetting that there isn't any accountability for that. And I know to a lot of people it may seem like I'm rambling on about these issues, but I'd rather be rambling on and making a point and annoying the heck out of our city leaders and anybody that really is in power of changing these things than for someone to get hit and me not say anything. And it's angry, you know. It very much so is. Like, for example, this grass is filled with bugs and chiggers and mites and probably even mosquitoes with all the water that collects in this town, you know. So here we are near the dispensary. This is the road I was talking about that people rush out of. And this is another thing where this white car is about to pull out, is the lack of turn signals. You know, people don't use turn signals. It's dangerous when pedestrians have to walk in the roads and they have no other choice but to walk in the roads. This is a dangerous town to live in, not necessarily because of gun violence and all that and drugs, but because a lack of flexibility in the way that people get around, you know. And it's dangerous. My dad always taught me to walk facing traffic. You know, people get annoyed with me, but they can easily slow down. They could easily wait for a car to pass and then pass me. But this is really bad. This is really bad. This is people not caring. But there's just a lack of sidewalks. I mean, this is near an apartment complex. This is near the houses of people who go to church, and these same people who go to church on Sunday and say, I want to be walking with God, but here they are, the same people that don't give two thoughts about hitting you. And it's angering. Like, for example, a lot of people have to walk on this side, and I find it very dangerous walking with your back towards traffic, you know. It's better to walk towards the car than the car come from behind you. But this is a great example of what I'm talking about. So this right here is bad, and this is bad too. Lack of sidewalks is a very big issue in this town. No sidewalks, no regard for pedestrian safety. It's just a very bad thing, you know. Come on, man. Fucking prick. They want to run me over. They want to drive right next to you. And they don't give a damn. And I'm going to start cussing because I'm angry. This is what I'm talking about. People don't pay any fucking attention to a pedestrian. And it's angering. It is. It's very angering. Very angering. And this is what we get. This is what we get as a community of Muskogee.